everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2, the Enhanced Edition. Righty-ho, so I'm a little bit strapped for time today because I've got a doctor's appointment coming up, got a busy afternoon ahead of me, and so I need to record this session and get it up in time. So the session's probably going to be around about 35 minutes rather than 45, depending on what happens, of course. If we get stuck in the middle of a great long conversation or quest, then I may just have to cope. What I'm going to do is, rather than the after narrative, I'm going to continue with the spell descriptions that I'm going through as to the spells that I've picked out for Nera. I'll do that kind of live time whilst we're trudging around the place. Anyway, in the last session we explored the village of Imnersvale and the surrounding Umar Hills region. For two reasons. First of all, we are looking for Mazzy and her motley crew of adventurers who were looking into the murders that's going on around here, people being turned inside out and killed and whatnot in the most gruesome fashion. And also we are looking, more importantly, for the Cald Wizards back in Athkatla, Valygar Corthala, indeed. So, as you do, as I do rather, when I'm editing my videos, I do watch the videos back in their entirety, just to see, because I find it easier to watch, to spot things in the game when you're not having to record and commentate and mess around. It's easier to sit back and watch with a cup of tea whilst you're editing, and you spot things you miss. And first of all, I noticed that we forgot something in here. Indeed, in our haste to leave this this shack, if you will, we forgot to take the scrolls from this cabinet. So we'll kind of get to that now. Throw them across to Nera to stick in her scroll case for consideration as to whether or not she wants to learn them. Which I'm sure she probably may or may, well, she will definitely may or may not learn them.
What is my task? Consider
it's going to be one or the other, isn't it, for certain? Okay, so that was the first thing I missed out on. The second thing I've kind of noticed in our hunt for Valygar Corthala, perhaps Godan overhearing some of the locals before he was about to leave this place and go further northwest, was it, in search of Mazzy, he heard about a commotion up in a cabin in the northwestern part of the area. You see, there's a big black blob here, and maps, generally speaking, don't have big black blobs. You can usually explore the entirety of them. So there's a little bit of a kind of a step kind of thing going on here. Perhaps we can walk up there, I'm thinking. So we're going to go over there and we're going to check this out before we leave the area. So that's the first thing that we're going to do today. Godan once again still not speaking with the locals because he can't be bothered to busy himself with the plebs of life. As a lord, you know. Unless they're going to go to his keep, pay him some coin for, you know, for his time listening to their petitions, he's not going to speak to them out the goodness of his bloody heart. Right, okay.
Yes?
Onwards and upwards.
Yes. Let us speak and be done with this.
You're one of those wizard folk looking for Valygar, aren't you? No, we're not a wizard folk. At all. Godan, rather insulted. Do I look like a wizard, he says. Liar! We'll not allow our employer to be hounded in this manner. Oh, they want to fight. Oh dear. Well, that's a good start to proceedings. Godan's certainly not impressed.
What is my task?
Right. Kill them, he shouts.
By my honor, you shall not see another day.
Okay, we need Bala's axe here to take care of the wizard. The rest of us can deal with this guy here, and
yes,
I'm thinking. Okay, so what spell did I say were good for taking care of wizards? Minute meteors were pretty good. Okay, so let's use those. I'm gonna
foundling.
just give him some extra health. And the rest of these people should be fine. Don't think we're going to need to waste too many of our spells and stuff here, so... These minions.
Me axe be bloody ready.
Ready for anything.
Right, so I think he's got stone skin on. So let's see if these minute meteors breach that. 5 attacks per round. Fire damage. Let's see if my theory is correct.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. There you go. Those little mage-slaying balls of fire. Don't you just love them?
What is my task?
Right, Godan's taking a few blows. So we're now switching to Frost Reaver and going to exact great revenge on those who dare draw his blood.
Ultranon! Cold steel, curse you.
There we go, he's down.
What is my task?
Not good. It's taking a few. I should have probably gone into the Dwarven Defender stance, to be fair. Too late now.
Happy to help. To try to help, anyway.
Nature's servant awaits.
Who is this guy? Just a regular ranger. He's doing some pretty decent damage.
On my honor.
I've got 3 casts of this thing, so it's a bit late now, I suppose. But hit me now, dog! Step aside, he shouts at Corgan. This one's
Must
mine!
be paid well for this. Yes.
There we go. Take a bit of that.
What is my task? On my
I
honor.
dislike the wilderness. It lacks structure.
Yes. Very well. What is my task? Done.
Okay, regular plate. Long sword, long bow. I mean, when you've got a bag of holding, even if you don't get a great deal from these things, you're almost kind of compelled to take them, you know? Chain. You're not going to get too much for them, but you can't resist. So these are going in the bag to sell. I'll give Jahira the jewellery, that needs identifying. It's just a regular flail plus 1 or 2 or whatever it is. Give that to Nera. She may be able to identify it with her lore. Yeah, flail plus 1. Okay. Very good. So Valygar's minions have been slaughtered. So we move on.
On my honor. As you ask.
After a quick save, of course. Oh gosh, the local wildlife kicking off here. Royally kicking off. Right, I'm just going to
What would you have me do?
see if we can explore with
You are lucky, certainly.
Hexa. She had the wrong weapon on. She should have had a +2 dagger. Why does she have that on? I don't know. No, do not know.
Fear not, I can do that.
God, this thing's going on a killing spree, isn't it? I mean, we are outside, so hiding in shadows is obviously a little bit more tricky because there's not too many shadows.
That's right. No one here but us shadows.
Okay, so while I'm exploring the outside of this, very quickly, the first spell at level 5, which Nera will be learning, or actually I think she may have already learned, to be fair,
No one here but us
is
shadows.
Breach, which is the primary spell for stripping back, removing, is that it? Yeah, enemies' combat protections, the kind of protections that stop your fighters from hitting the opponent. So protection from normal weapons, normal missiles, magical weapons, those kind of things, rather than spell protections. Now, a very, very, very useful spell. Pretty much the only spell to do that with any degree of consistency. And it's a level 5 spell, which makes it kind of irksome when you're dealing with leashes and demi-leashes, because they're immune to level 5 spells. Which makes them a particularly irksome opponent and dangerous, because it's very difficult to remove their combat protections. But yeah, it's a very, very useful spell. Of course, not only do you cast it on the opponents, but the opponents can cast it on you, and combating the enemy's castings of Breach is quite the challenge, because the only surefire way to do it is to cast Spell Shield, which gets used up when it absorbs the Breach, or any other spell for that matter. And the second, more surefire way is with the Protection from Magic scroll. However, they're quite rare.
Consider it done.
That's the best you can manage? As you wish.
Let's take a quick look in this cabin here. Valygar Corthala probably holed up in there, we would guess. We know he's in here, given the people outside.
On my honor, I await your word.
Now, how this is going to go, we do not know, to be quite honest with you. We really don't. We are going to ensure that he's brought back to the Cowled Wizards, so if he's going to resist, I cannot see this ending in anything other than his death. Which means there is going to be a fight, which kind of makes me think we should cast some protections, but if it's only him, I think we'll be fine.
Yes, it shall be.
Which it is.
There. More cowled ones are their servants, no doubt. By the gods, I swear you'll not live to take me to that damnable sphere.
The Damnable Sphere. Okay, so not quite understand. Yeah, Damnable Sphere. Could this Damnable Sphere be where Imoen is? In which case, we're interested in taking him back alive, if possible, so that we could maybe escort him ourselves and get a quick peek inside. I seek tribute in gold or blood. No. I mean, this is... Godan, of course, has his greed, but this is a bigger picture here. If he was to offer us a crap ton of gold, we'd probably still turn it down, because we're trying to get information from the Cowled Wizards, and that, as they say, is priceless. So even Godan has his limits. Although if he was to offer 20,000, I think Godan may start to be thinking, well, I can probably get this information via another source. 20,000 gold? But he lives here in a cabin in the woods. He doesn't look particularly rich. The question is, do we announce that we are with the wizards, get his backup, or do we try and get information out of him first? Nah, do you know what? We don't really care. We know who he is. We know what we need to do. He's going to come kicking or screaming, or peacefully. The choice is his. But what is this sphere? Godan interested to find out. A planar sphere appeared in the slums of Athkatla weeks ago. We've seen that. My ancestor, the necromancer Lavok, built that sphere as some sort of planar travelling device. Lavok disappeared with the sphere over 5 centuries ago. It has not been seen again until now. I have no desire to meet my ancestor, and even less desire to help the Cowled Wizards, who seem certain that my body is the only key to the sphere, alive or no. They tried to force my cooperation when I refused to aid them, and I had hidden myself away as a result. I thought I had been successful as well until you came. Okay, so they think he is the key to getting into the sphere. Interesting, because that means that the planar sphere isn't their little prison. They may have told us this, but we picked up this quest a long time ago. Right. Okay, maybe they didn't tell us that. They haven't been trying to be truthful. But we still want them to tell us about Imoen, so who cares? This is irrelevant at this point. It's not the prison, right? Tick. That's off the list. So all is required is for him to come with us. Okay, we don't care about their sort of hiding of the truth. We don't care what he has to say. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite simple to go down. We have come here to perform a job for a reason that is highly important to us. And any amount of talk is not going to change that fact. So, sorry, Mr. Valygar. You come with us dead, or you come with us alive. Choose. I see. If you are loyal followers, then I have little choice but to fight. You shall not take me peaceably to my doom at the hands of my ancestor. Of that I am certain. If you are not, however, perhaps you'll listen to more than just reason. I have a proposal for you, if you are willing to hear me out. Oh, a proposal? Well, we can hear it out for free. We're not exactly in a rush. My proposal is that we return to the city and enter the sphere. That way I will know if Lavok lives. If he does, we can exterminate his ghoulish existence once and for all. You are more than welcome to whatever lies within the sphere, such as magical treasure and anything else of Lavok's. None of it interests me in the slightest. Okay, I changed the pronunciation of his name there. Almost clicked there for a second. It seems unlikely. He's a wizard. He's probably survived somehow. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, magical treasures and a mage in there of some renown could have a lot of magical trinkets and stuff, but still that isn't quite gonna outshine the information we will be given by the Cal Wizards potentially. We don't want to really be ticking these Cal Wizards off whilst they've got Imoen, so unfortunately, Mr. Valygar, your proposal holds no water. I refuse. I prefer the goodwill of the Cal Wizards and the reward for you. That's not quite what we mean, but it's the only option that we have to refuse. So we are refusing, not for the goodwill of the Cal Wizards, but for the information they hold and the reward we have been promised in the form of information about Imoen's whereabouts. So, apologies, Mr. Valygar. Nothing personal. You'll understand. It's all to do with business. If you are but a servant of the Cal Wizards, then I have no choice but to defend myself. I am a ranger, and I will die with honour. How about you? Oh, Nera's not happy. You can't do this, Godan. It's not right. It's wrong. Nera, some things have to be done. Oh dear. Is this going to give us a reputation decrease?
What is my task?
Let's go. Have we still got
On my honor.
Dwarven Defender stance?
Bark your orders already.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Despite the fact that it's wrong, Nera, I task you with hitting him with something. Everybody else, though,
I am ready.
get your backsides in there now.
Yes.
Oh, he's not that tough.
Dangerous mistake.
We're all crowding round in
My
here.
task.
Leave it to me, Godan says. Leave it to me. Let me do the bloody work for those of you that are too damn cowardly to do it. Ooh. Did you hear her
On
there?
my honor.
It is about
What
time.
are you doing?
I
Blood
command!
and
Yes,
glory.
right on!
Now you
Signed up.
die!
Oh,
If you
I am
arts in
good.
possession, I could swallow.
Ooh. And it's quite fitting that Valygar takes the final killing blow from Godan himself. Yeah, Nera not happy.
Nature's
Oh.
servant awaits.
She's poisoned. It's only a very small amount of poison, but nonetheless. There we go.
Consider it done.
So this is, ooh, Corthala family armor. Let's have a look at this. What is this? Immunity to charm, fire resistant, acid resistant, magic damage resistant. It is +3 to Valygar's armor. Oh, it might just be only equipable on Valygar Corthala. Yeah. Probably won't sell for much then either, but we'll try. We shall try. What else we got here? His body. Required. Stick it in his pack as you do. Just shrink it down first, you know. Corthala family blade. Alright. Take some stuff here. Can a body go in there? No. Can it? Baliga's body, in it goes, into the bag of holding. How very nice. Okay.
You are lucky I'm here. Impressive.
Spear. Spear. Can't identify that. Looks just like a bog standard spear. We'll give that to Nera to identify. That's going to sell, as is that. And a few potions. Where did the rest of these elixirs of health go? 4 of them? We'll take those out and spread them around at some point. Excellent stuff. So, yes,
My task.
relatively straightforward task, a few scratches and whatnot, but other than, you know, it's all par for the course.
Gather your party before venturing
On my honor.
forth.
So we have Valygar Corthala's body safely stowed away in the bag of holding, which means that we can now proceed to see if we can locate
Yes.
Mazzy and co. Although, what time are we on? Just thinking whether we should rest up first after our ordeal, but I think we'll shall we rest? Shall we rest? Nah, we'll continue on. Got a feeling we're going to be coming up against some nasty foes, but we do have plenty of health potions. I don't like resting too often. Okay, so whilst we meander our way down, the next spell on our level 5 list that we have is Cloud Kill, which is an AoE DOT spell that does poison damage. Now for level 6 characters, which is quite a few characters at lower level, it kills them outright if they I think it just does kill them outright. I think level 6 to 8 maybe, or 6 to 10, I can't remember, they suffer death if they don't make their save, and for anything above that, the higher level characters, they suffer just the poison damage.
Yes. Very well.
A good here you go, Temple Ruins. A good strategy is to pin opponents in place with, say, a web, an entangle, or even stinking cloud before using cloud kills to get the best benefit. This is a really dark area. I'm struggling to see. This is really dark.
Fear not. That's right.
Good for Hexar.
Enough if you know what you're doing.
What is this? Lelin's Journal. Found in the body of the shadow-slain warrior near the entrance to the dark woods. And it is bloody dark, I'm struggling to see. Nothing is as I'd imagined that it would be. I expected to become a hero when I joined Mazzy Fenton's party. I expected that we would slay monsters with ease and bask in the glory of victory, as they do in the old tales, but it is not as it seems. I did not expect the drudgery of the march, the casual horror of slaughter, the smell of death everywhere. I swear I can taste it. We've killed so many shadows and black wolves that my brain has become as numb as my arm. I'm covered in ichor, but I've not the energy to even clean myself. If not for Mazzy, I think that I would be mad. She is a constant source of strength, and always reminds us of the innocence that these beasts have killed, of the horror that we must take upon ourselves to save the people who have no defence. Mazzy is the hero, not I. The battle has only just begun. Today we arrived at the entrance to the ruined temple. It was crawling with shadows. Were it not for Mazzy's quick thinking, we would surely be dead. There were far too many to fight, but Mazzy used the stained glass of the ruins to reflect what light we had, illuminating the entrance and sending the shades to their doom. While the stained glass caught the light, we were able to find a pocket of safety. Any shadows that came within were destroyed by the light. Okay, bit of a tip. Tomorrow we will attempt to enter the temple and the darkness. I've never felt such dread. I try to be as brave as Mazzy, but cannot. I feel the horrible, inescapable urge to run. And when the battle is joined, I can only hope that I will not. A coward, basically. Okay, but some useful information nonetheless. And it is still daylight though, so I don't think we can take that off, but it is dark. Just try it. No. Nice.
What is my task?
That's the best you get, that's right. Very good. I dislike the wilderness. It lacks structure.
Can't see a damn thing. Where are we?
That's right. No one here but us shadows.
Uh-oh, enemy sighted. What we got here? Some shadows. No one here but us shadows. Huh. And them shadows too. Who's this? You will not steal my vengeance! Who was that? We don't know. Wolf Cave. Oh, this is so dark. It doesn't help when I'm playing with a shade wolf. I'm playing in the middle of the midday sun, even though my blinds are closed. It's still quite dark, and she's not in shadows anymore. Oops.
On my honor.
No mercy for those who oppose us!
Blast it!
Weapon is faulty!
This weapon is faulty! Okay, I think we need, let's have a look here. Let's get this sorted. We need
Be quick with it.
I await your move.
probably, I would suggest
Ustanza dost.
maybe +1 weaponry?
What'll it be?
Yes? What is my task?
With vengeance!
On my honor.
Yeah.
Yes? Done.
So +1 weaponry is the key. Okay. It's quite a large area, but very dark.
I am ready. Ha! That's how it's done.
Okay, so the
That's right.
next spell at level 5 that we will be getting is Domination, which is probably the primary charm spell because it affects any creature. The hell was that?
That's right. No one here but us
And
shadows.
also, a nice little handy tip is that it doesn't actually aggravate neutral characters if they fail their save. So you can attempt to dominate somebody without it being too much of a penalty if you don't do it.
That's right. No one here but us shadows.
So there's two shadows there.
That's right. No one
What is my
here
task?
but us shadows.
As you ask.
Righty-ho, I think what we'll do is we'll enter the wolf cave,
On my honor.
and that will be the end of the session after that. Hopefully, we won't suffer too badly.
Yes? Consider it done.
What would you have me do? Very good.
Ooh, look at that. Something glinting here.
That's right. No one here but us shadows.
Who's this? Anath. Did we not see him outside? Or her? We did we not? And a pool. Interesting.
Best you make peace with your demons before I send you to meet them.
Man things, curse you and curse the world. Can a wolf not enjoy her last meal in peace? Okay, we're attacking either way. We've not come necessarily just for the innocence, we come for the reward. Die, scumbag! Empty threats. I go willingly to my doom. I wish only to avenge my fate and that of my pack by destroying the Shade Lord. Shade Lord? Wait just a second. Godan staying his axe arm for a second. You mean Shade Lord? This place was not always like this, floating in a false and unholy darkness. It began only a short time ago. The ruins to the east of the den have long been a place of foreboding to my pack and me. We had no desire to tread the ground of the fallen temple. The temple was once dedicated to Amunauta, a god of the sun, and a great prophetess is buried within. It was holy ground once, though now it is fouled. It is obvious that Amunauta's power has waned, for if this were still his consecrated ground, my doom would never have risen from the bowels of the temple. Okay, continue. Some weeks ago, muted rumblings were heard beneath the temple. We paid little heed to them until the skies darkened and the shadows deepened. It was high noon when it happened, and the pack gathered so that I might calm them. I thought it to be an eclipse. It was not. The Shade Lord came among us then. He dominated my wolves, my children, with a glance. I changed form and leapt at his darkness, but he merely laughed. Anath, he said, bend to my will, you shall be the means of my revenge. He walked amongst the terrified wolves and killed them all with a touch. Once they were all dead, his darkness reached out to the corpses of my children and animated them as shade wolves. Numb with terror and sorrow, I ran. I've hidden these last few weeks from the shades that once were wolves, and from the darkness that creeps out from the temple that once imprisoned the Shade Lord. I will hide no more. This man I killed only to gather strength to face the Shade Lord. He wants only to kill, and those he kills, be they man or wolf, arise as shades in his army. Will you allow me this revenge, or do I have to fight you as well? Godan isn't interested in bloodless killing sprees. If she can take care of the Shade Lord, it's one less thing for us to worry about. You only have to report that matters have been resolved, whether she resolves them or not. It matters not to Godan. We can help her kill him, or we can... Nah, we're not going to help her. We'll just see if she can crack on and maybe do the job for us. I got to face him now. If you value the pitiful man-things of Imnersvale, you will follow me to the temple and kill him if I fail. Good hunting. She won't get very far, we don't think. Anyway.
What is my task?
Quick loot, and then we'll finish the session here.
On my honor. It shall be.
Right, so there you go. Join me in the next session then, as we will be heading out into the darkness once again and taking a look into this Shade Lord. Quite the development. Until then,
Yes?
see you soon.
Consider it done.